Another boat trip into the inner road was out of the question. The guard boat had been reinforced, and therefore much of de la Galissonniere's preparation was hidden. The outer road was open to view without too much risk, but the inner road and the great naval arsenal were invisible, hidden by the crowded shipping in the outer and masked by the twin promontories that made it such a secure base for the French Mediterranean fleet. No news from passing vessels either. Only French vessels came out of Toulon. The few neutrals that had brought the essential naval stores, victualling supplies, artillery, powder, and all the myriad requirements of a fighting squadron had not re-emerged, and it appeared that they were being detained to avoid just the sort of intelligence leaks that Carlisle was hoping for. Holbrooke had left the settee at Nice, now returned to its proper owner, and was relegated to the humdrum life of a master's mate. He was again responsible for keeping track of the movements in Toulon, and alone could say offhand how many of each type of vessel, ships of the line, frigates, transports, were in the roads at any time, and with a diminishing degree of accuracy as this foul weather persisted, their state of readiness. His responsibilities had grown with his readiness to accept them, and now he was hard-pressed with watch-keeping and this role of chief intelligencer to find much time for sleep. He had even less time for the self-destructive introspection that had so plagued him, and had come close to fatally blighting his career. There came a day of more gentle breezes from the south-west. The Mistral had blown itself out overnight, and the dawn's first rays sliding over the horizon transformed Fury's mainmast head into a dazzling spike of sublime golden beauty, while the rest of the ship still languished in the gloom. For the first time in days he had the weather gauge, and Carlisle was determined to use it. The Deux Frères, those rocks that guarded the eastern side of Cape Sissier, were a league to the northwest, so he was out of range of the batteries on the Cape. Subtle indicators were suggesting that the French expedition's preparation was reaching a climax. The lack of neutrals leaving Toulon, the growing number of topmasts sent up and yards crossed, the increased boat patrols, the wariness of the French coasting vessels, all pointed to an early departure date. Carlisle's duty was clear: to ascertain that the expedition was committed to its destination, that it wasn't merely a feint, to count its strength, and then to fly to Mahon and deliver the news. But just sitting and waiting was not in Carlisle's nature. When, with a little initiative, he could narrow down the departure date and have an early estimate of the scale of the French undertaking, it was possible that a British ship could come by at any time. Indeed, Hervey in Phoenix was quite likely to arrive. He was frequently employed between Mahon, Leghorn, Genoa, and Nice. It would be of inestimable value for Edgecombe to have an update. He must be feeling the frustration of this dearth of information at such a critical time. Carlisle knew that this was his best opportunity to see into the inner road and the arsenal, probably for days or weeks to come, and he was determined to grasp it. Any French ship would have to beat out of the mouth of the outer road to meet Fury, and in any case the element of surprise favoured the intruder. If a heavy frigate, Vulcain perhaps, seeking revenge, was waiting under way just behind Cape Sepet, then it could be awkward. A calculated gamble, but worth it in the present circumstances. "Mr. Seaforth, bring us before the wind and beat to quarters. Pass the word for Mr. Holbrooke. I need him in the maintop." 4 minutes after giving the order, the ship was cleared for action. Carlisle walked forward to the quarterdeck rail, now padded with tightly rolled hammocks. All appeared well. The guns were run in, and each was properly manned, with the smell of slow match hanging seductively in the air now that Fury was running with the wind almost directly astern. Kelty was walking from gun to gun, fussing, probably unnecessarily. Midshipman Linton seemed to have the forward section under control, and Wishart perhaps less certainly the after section.